Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Cookies Enabled, What's New Wednesdays, and this is technically the first episode of Season 2, so welcome everybody. It does show I have one viewer, and I am so thankful for that at the moment. I'm sure that number will grow, hopefully, over the coming minutes here as we go into the episode, but today I have some also awesome news just regarding the channel itself. I know my background here is going to be slowly changing. As you notice, some of the birds have disappeared. Don't worry, they're coming back. But I got to move things around. I got to change things up for Season 2. So just bear with us here. It's been a slow process. And Andrew has been working on at least 3 different episodes. And I heard just hours before he went into work tonight, which is why he's not next to me here. And Andrew is my editor, for those of you that don't know, is definitely finished one other episode, which is a random daily discovery that's going to be coming out hopefully next week. So keep an eye out for that. Here is a preview, and I know this probably doesn't look fun for anybody that lives in Michigan because you'd know what this is. This is freezing rain on one of the railways that goes out to the pier of Lake Michigan. So this is obviously... This is scary. You know, you see this, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have no power. I'm going to be locked in my house for like a week, at least a couple of days. And so for those of you that don't know what this is what happens when water is super cooled, essentially, but still in liquid form, which is what happens at Lake Michigan all the time. And since it's not salt water, it freezes differently than, and you get these really cool ice sculptures, sound effects, whatnot. So Andrew's going to fill us all in with that in the Random Daily Discovery episode. So stick around next week for that episode, or possibly later this week. I don't know exactly when he's going to drop that, so just keep an eye out for the channel, okay? Click that subscribe button below for those of you that have not. It's that big red rectangle down to usually the right corner of the screen. Anyway, let's jump into our space news since we have a lot. Now, normally I have Andrew kind of take over space news, but again, he's working, so I will do my best. Sorry, Andrew, if I don't hit all your topics. I got one of them out of the way already. I got the other one lined up here in a minute. So, the first thing I want to say is SpaceX. We usually start with SpaceX. We don't have any major news, except for the fact that they did hit a milestone this time. They officially have 2,042 of their Starlink satellites floating in orbit now. So, now a couple of them are still getting into orbit. I think it's like almost 200, 300 of them are still floating around, doing their thing, getting into position, and then they'll lock into position, and then they have like these laser data beams that connect the whole series of satellites, as well as beam data to and from the Earth. So this is great for people that live in terrible areas, rural areas that are just really hard to get to for good internet connection. You know, you just can never get good internet out there, and most cell services are even shady, and this could be the answer. Now, there is a lot of skepticism about these guys and the satellite and Starlink and everything. I'm not diving into that right now. If you have opinions about it, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I was able to find this week for space news. Now, I didn't have as much time as I normally do because it's been a busy week. So, bear with me. So, now, here's a really awesome shot I forgot to mention of the last Falcon 9 rocket. I'm sorry. I checked the website sources below. I'm so sorry, everybody. Usually Andrew would be correcting me right now. But this one is this taking up those last Starlink satellites. And it's just a really cool picture because it's right next to the full moon. And wow, what a shot that one was. So definitely thank you for that. Great shot. But yes, so that's it for SpaceX news. Now for the rest of space news, I had quite a bit actually. Normally, we kind of just jump around and whatnot. I'm kind of sticking in category this time. So this time, we're going to stay in category here. We have the James Webb telescope. Now, we've been talking about James Webb a lot lately. This telescope is going to be huge in replacing Hubble, for those of you that don't know. And Hubble's still working fine. No bad news there. Still operational. For those of you that have been watching previous episodes know, Hubble has gone through some hiccups and is totally stable right now. But James Webb is the successor to Hubble and can see not only a wider spectrum, but is going to be getting way deeper spectrums by using the infrared spectrum to see deeper into space. So this is going to be huge. And they did get that golden mirror. Primary mirrors are all locked into place officially, which means that that the telescope itself has been fully transformed. It went from that completely capsulated, to completely open to the picture you're seeing now, which might not seem like a big deal, but this thing is the size of a school bus. So you got to think of how big this thing is, and it's also going crazy, screaming fast through space. So it's not an easy feat. It's also really super cold out where it is, so making sure that the metals don't fuse together at those temperatures and things is a really big deal. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check that out on YouTube. There's tons of videos out there about all kinds of nasty space issues they had with Apollo missions and metals fusing together. So that's what they were worried about here. Luckily, she fully unfolded. Everything's great. James Webb Telescope is doing fantastic floating around out there. Now, it's not 100% ready. It still is getting close to its final destination, which will be later, I think, either this week or early next week. Just a couple of days away, I want to say. It'll be at its final destination. That's when they'll be slowing it down, decelerating it, and then getting it kind of positioned so that way the sun is facing the sun shield and the obviously telescope is facing everywhere else. So they're going to get it positioned, run a bunch of tests. That'll take several months. Do not expect to see or hear really any news about this telescope for another like 6 months. Like maybe June, July is when we're going to see official. I mean, you're hearing news about them testing it, I'm sure, but you're not going to see any major pictures or discoveries until this thing is fully operational. Probably June, I would say the earliest. So, more news to come with James Webb Telescope, but that's all I got this week, and I think that checks off my list from Andrew. So, did my best there. So, now, last week I mentioned the Perseverance rover that is on Mars right now, and that one is amazing. Also, about the size of like maybe a smaller bus, like the mini bus that they had, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like those little shuttle buses is probably a better way of putting it. That's what the size of this guy is. Maybe a sedan or an SUV. So Perseverance isn't huge, nothing like the size of the James Webb Telescope, but it's still operational and doing a great job. Now, the biggest problem that they got right now, poor Perseverance, has still got those stupid rocks lodged in its trapezoid thingy. So they have officially ran some tests over the last couple of weeks and have determined a proper way of dislodging the rocks from Perseverance. I know I mentioned this last week, but they'll officially be doing it hopefully either later this week or early next week. They're still prepping for like weather and other events. They don't want to start like opening things up on on Perseverance and then having a dust storm roll up out of nowhere or something. So they're really trying to prepare for the worst and the best scenario here. So they only have to do this hopefully once because they don't expect this to happen again. One of the solutions was just keep operating and maybe the rocks will just break up on their own, but we don't know enough about those rocks to know if they're just going to break up or damage all the metal, and that's a lot of expensive equipment to damage. I don't think I would take that risk. If we were here on Earth and we could go to it, that's one thing, but we can't. We can't just go fix this buggy. So no, they're not about to just grind some gears and be like, just push forward. They got like the best engineers working on it. But hopefully by next week I'll have some good news about them dislodging it. I'm hoping to have even a video of it, which would be pretty freaking awesome. So that is it for Mars and our universe's news, but I still have more space news, everybody. So here we go. The last topic I have space-wise, surprisingly, is obviously we scan the universe. We're mapping it all the time. This is nothing new. We've been doing this pretty much since we came up with telescopes and we could, freaking look at the stars and map them ourselves. We've been doing this. This is nothing new. Anyway, what if I told you that we have, just now hit a milestone of being able to map almost the entire galaxy? And this is the current image they have. So apparently somewhere in here in the bottom right hand corner of this screen is Earth. I don't know exactly where. Now you're imagining why are there these giant blackout spots that they can't see? That's all based on the rotation of our Earth and other planets and yada yada. So I again, a lot of math. I'm not about to get into all that stuff. There's tons of other videos out there on YouTube that'll explain that. Or you can check the sources below. Anyway, sources will be posted after the show, by the way. So here's the first image. I got another one here for you. This is what most images of the galaxies look like. This is what we're getting from Hubble. This is great. This is still galaxies. Like every single one of those little balls of light is probably 10 billion different stars. And I'm not, or making this up. That's pretty much what you're seeing here. So this is another map, and this is actually a video here. So if you're looking really closely at the screen, you'll notice that it's actually moving. And this is because obviously we're scanning and we're moving. So every single one of those colored dots is another galaxy that could be anywhere from 10 million to 1 trillion galaxies within itself. Or stars, I'm sorry. Stars. So, and stars means that there could be planets around them. So it's not zooming in, but it is mapping not only the gaps between them, but the stars themselves, as well as their relative position to each other, which is going to be great for us exploring out of our own galaxy. We're going to need to know all this stuff. They call them fibers, and they're also exploring dark matter. This is really going to help us map out better equations of math. It already looks kind of like a cool painting already. If you look, I'm pretty sure he zooms in at one point. I have this looping, so I'm not sure exactly where it's at in the video, unfortunately. He does zoom in, there you go, and just shows you the one quadrant, and it looks like you're underwater, like those old school paintings where there's like multiple pictures moving around. But again, there's just layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of galaxies here. It's unbelievable what we have been able to accomplish, and we're only like 20 or 30% of the way through. So they're still going to be continuing this scan for the next 7 months and try to map as much of the galaxy as possible. And they're using a series of satellites. Again, check all my sources below. Not satellites, but telescopes, and they are ground telescopes. So they're doing this from the Earth, beaming up through the atmosphere and stuff, so through weather and all that fun jazz. So take a look below, guys. That's a really awesome, really cool topic I thought you guys would like. But that wraps up my space news, thank goodness, for the day. Whew, that was a lot. So let's take a little break, shall we? And let's dive into some memes. Oh my goodness, we have some funny ones here this week. Now the first two I have, obviously this first one here, if you haven't noticed what this lovely fox, one of my favorite animals, is licking a window, for those of you that don't know. I don't know if this is maybe a sliding door and what side of the window the fox is on. I know that some people up here in Michigan have foxes as pets. It's not unheard of. So this is not uncommon, I guess. I've seen my dog lick a window before, but anyway, so it says, Firefox has encountered an unexpected problem with Windows. I just hear the old school boom, from like Windows XP or something coming up in the background when you see this, because it's just exactly what you'd expect. I know I found this on Facebook. I'm not sure exactly who shared it, but thank you, because wow, this just made my day for sure. Now my next one here for you. Equally as funny, it says, when someone says you're too young to have this many injuries, you need to think like Indy and say, it's not the years, honey, it's the mileage. And this one is perfect. This goes for so many people, including myself. I mean, I was like in my 20s, practically on my deathbed, so definitely the mileage, I guess you could say. I really went through heck and back getting back to normal, but wow, I absolutely love this meme. And this is pretty much the last couple of years for most people, I want to say. This is definitely the case. So thank you to my friends who posted this on Facebook. It is hilarious. I absolutely love that. Now, Andrew's not with us again today, obviously. So, but he did send in some memes, and here's one of them. Now, for those of you that have not seen any of the Bubba Fett show, or that's on Disney Plus, this isn't ruining anything for you. I haven't watched any of it yet, but he did tell me this is not literally spoiling anything. But it says, Alpha. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to read all of this. It says, Alpha, Rita's escaped. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude. I don't know how I got that out. The picture of their scooters alone is just, what is happening here? This definitely looks like a Power Rangers movie or show or something. Like, Mighty Morphin scooters, and they're going to join into some, Hummer. I don't know. This is hilarious, though. I don't know what's exactly happening here, but thank you, Andrew, for sending this in. If those of you that don't know Power Rangers or Boba Fett, I'm pretty sure you can see all of that just on Disney Plus alone. But I don't know if Power Rangers is on there or who necessarily owns that, so just search where to watch and then Power Rangers on Google, and that'll tell you where to find it. So there you go. Anyway, next one here, and last one I got for you guys. One of my favorites, for those of you that are all missing Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory and a Star Wars theme, because we haven't had one in a while. So here we go. It says, Sheldon, you're in my spot. I absolutely love this because, I don't know, I mean, I guess the correlation between this is Darth Vader's spot and Sheldon just demanding that this is supposed to be his spot. I can always say, oh, but the airflow is perfect in this dome and it's so quiet and I can watch whatever I want in here and it regenerates me or whatever. Like, I'm sure he's going to have like a bazillion excuses. And plus, it's just Darth Vader's hangout, so of course you're going to want to be there. Yeah. But yes, thank you, Andrew, for this amazing laugh. I hope this is making you guys all just bust a gut because, yeah, you're in my spot. I can't do it as good as he did. But anyway, so I got two last topics for you guys tonight. And one of them I just realized is not in the right spot, so I'm going to move that here. Anyway, the first one here is Microsoft might be buying Activision. So why does this matter? What's up with Activision? So Activision is the company that makes Call of Duty games. They also make Candy Crush. Anything that's related to the King brand of mobile games, as well as like a huge list of games. Let me pull up their main money grabbers. You got Call of Duty, obviously. You got the Candy Crush saga. World of Warcraft, that's a huge one. StarCraft, also massive. Heatherstone, Overwatch, Diablo, Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk's, Crash Bandicoot, and the list goes on. They literally have one of the A+ best game libraries of all freaking time. Like, just in the last year, you've got 3 of their titles in the top 10 for Xbox and 3 of their top in the 16 for Sony. So, I mean, that's such a big deal. I mean, this would make or break whoever actually buys Activision. Now, I didn't even know, but as of last year, Activision's been actually up for sale for billions of dollars. This is not a small acquisition. Now, what the proposal by Microsoft was for $75.5 million. Now, I don't think this is going to go through, and if it does, I'd be really surprised. I don't know, shame on FCC for allowing it, I guess. I don't know if I should really even say anything about it, but for the most part, the big deal is that this is a big push. There's a huge amount of people that still play these Call of Duty games on their PC, and so this is Microsoft kind of encompassing the Xbox with the PC, with Windows 11, with everything morphing into the cloud, and so I think this will also help because it's going to really pull in that mobile market for Windows as well. So not a huge downfall, but IGN did this amazing poll that says, it said, do you want Activision/Blizzard games to become an Xbox exclusive? Pardon me. So what does that mean? An Xbox exclusive necessarily means that Xbox would not only have the rights to all these games, but would mean that when a Call of Duty game comes out or whatever, you can only buy it on an Xbox, and you won't be able to buy it on a PlayStation or any other console for that matter, except for maybe the PC would be maybe the only exception. Now, they might play a Halo card here, which is they would only release it on Xbox and then, for the first year, and then release it on the PC with a bunch of DLC that they didn't get on the console or something like that. I really, really hope this doesn't happen. Now, this poll was for about 56,000 people, and they said, yes, please give me this on Game Pass. They would love to see, Call of Duty on Game Pass. 41%. That's a pretty high number, and that's the leading number in the poll so far. So the second one, obviously, is no thanks. I want it on every format possible, just like it currently is. Just keep it the way it freaking is. Don't change a damn thing. And that is 37.9%. So literally, we're neck and neck, a yay and nay on this. And then 21% are just like, we really just don't care. We don't play this game, or it doesn't affect us. I don't care about any of those games you mentioned. I play Solitaire, or I don't know, Viva Pinata, or some other game that has nothing to do with any of these brands, which would be a pretty small number. I mean, it's still a vast selection of games, but pretty much any EA game, this isn't going to affect you at all, So there's a huge amount of people that this isn't going to affect. But I thought you guys would like to know that technically Microsoft may be buying Blizzard / Activision, and it sounds like the FCC may not do much to stop it. So we'll see. We will see how that goes, though. Keep an eye out, and we will keep you guys posted. So I got one last topic for you guys today, and this one is a doozy. Oh, man. So what's happening in this last article that I got for you guys is that we've had, with COVID going on, everybody's attacking the viral infestation, and viruses are bad, 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 bad. We don't want viruses around. Well, I may have found an example where virus saved someone's life. And it's kind of a double-edged sword here. So let me break this story down. This poor lady got into a terrible car accident and went through multiple surgeries to get her leg fixed. But in the process of getting her leg / thigh fixed, it became massively infected with a bacterial infection, which happens, and they put her on antibiotics as usual, but it became bacterial resistant. And this it became like a super bacterial resistant bug, or a superbug, as they like to call it in the medical realm. And so they came up with something known as phage, Phage. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong, but this is a type of virus that eats bacteria. Now, you can train phage to attack specific bacteria only, and not go after like a whole slew of bacteria. And I think that is amazing as well. And that's exactly what they did for this lady. So what they did is it was an intravenous 2 steps of giving her not only antibiotics regularly. This is the full spectrum of all the different surgeries and things she had to go over, and how they do, and they did the different phage therapies and whatnot. And the initial, if you see this last block here, I'm going to zoom in. This last block where it says antibiotic 5, antibiotic 6, and phage therapy, which was like this tiny little bar, that is, it took her, I think they said 1 month of treatments with the phage and antibiotics, and she had already completely been eradicated of the superbug anyway. And then they continued her on her, and her body was regenerating. They said within days of giving her the phage, her body was already got a better skin, no pus, no issues. I mean, it was completely back to normal pretty much, and growing normal tissue. So this could be a huge breakthrough for the future of really chemistry and how we proceed with real superbugs and how they're kind of adapting. You may hear phage popping up more in maybe another 5 years or so, since this is one of the first human trials and it was only done with one person, and she obviously agreed to all the studies and stuff. This is a picture of the phage, by the way, under an electron microscope, just in case you want to know. But definitely not the phage from the Marvel comics. I should point that out. Has nothing to do with the phage from the Marvel comics. I don't know if it has anything to do with that at all. I have not read any of the phage, but apparently that is a thing that came up in my searches. Ignore it for now. I pay attention to this phage. So these phage attack the bacteria and then just get flushed out with your normal immune system and just die off, as they usually would. And they do not, they just kind of go dormant and they just kind of die off in your body. And you don't have to worry about them attacking the rest of your immune system or anything. So this is a really cool breakthrough, and this could be a huge step forward. Now, this was done in the UK. I have all of the information. I'll post all of that in the sources below. Please give it a look through. And I mean, there's way more sources and graphs and stuff that I really wasn't even sure exactly 100% what I was reading, because I am not a medical expert. So anyway, guys, I know I learned something new today, and I hope you guys did too. I want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in today, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Don't forget to check back later this week and next week to see if we have any new episodes for you, and we will be back next Wednesday. Hopefully Andrew will be with us again. We are also going to be, I know both Andrew and I play on Animal Crossing, so if you guys have a friend code and want to join an island, let us know and email at the email above, and we will join and add you guys, okay? But I appreciate you all. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a great one, everybody.